Goodness gracious. My subscribers are going the wrong way. Look right here. Subscribe now or I have to get a real job. Excited to hear your story. So why don't you tell the people of this good nation who you are and what your story is?
My name is Damari Philson. Um, I'm having my professional debut August 5th at the GTD Challenge at Coppin State. I've been boxing since I was 4. I've been in the gym since I was 3 and 4, and I've been competing since I was 8. I've been ranked number 6 in the nation in 2021. I've been ranked top 10 all through my amateur career. I have a record of 65-20. Um, as far as boxing. Oh yeah, I train with Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny Ellis.
You train with the famous people.
You can say that.
You train with the famous people. I'm gonna start this off on a different note. I see a lot of art. I see a little Basquiat influence. I heard you're an artist. Talk to me
Yeah.
about getting involved in art and what drew you to art, because I don't always think of boxers as artists in the most practicing art way. How did you find yourself becoming an artist?
Well, when I was young, I was always doodling and drawing. Oh, I was always drawing, and my dad. First of all, my dad introduced me to the sport of boxing. So in his car, he would have like little note cards and stuff. And I would, on the way to the gym, I would doodle and just draw a lot. So recently, like a year or two ago, I started doing paintings just to put stuff up in my room. And my dad saw me. He said, maybe you should start selling them and make it a business. And that's sure what I did.
Okay. Do you have any artistic influences, or is your influence just your heart, soul, and mind?
I would say an influence is Jean-Michel Basquiat for sure. I've looked after his work and Jackson Pollock. But yeah, I most of my work just comes from my mind. Just whatever I feel, I just express it on a pen. Just like in practice with boxing, I translate it with boxing also. I feel like in the gym you get to express yourself through the work of martial arts. So in a way, so you know, they both coincide with each other.
Well, I got a terribly boring story for you about Basquiat, but I'm gonna try to make it short because you're like I'm the interview guy and you're the subject. But the
Oh no.
college I went to for an undergrad was an art school, and the head of the painting department, Raymond Saunders, Basquiat, was actually gonna go to that school and study under Ray Saunders before he passed away. So
Oh,
I'd always, because there was a lineage where I'd always see Raymond Saunders, and that was like the person that Basquiat always wanted. The work isn't the same, I hate to say, but I
mm.
always have taken a liking to Basquiat just because it was like one step removed from my life.
Yes, sir. For
Okay,
sure.
that's my boring story. So there we go. We got that out of the way. So that we've done that. What do you want from the sport of boxing?
In the sport of boxing, I just want to be respected as a fighter. I want to become a world champion someday, a household name that, once you hear Damari's name, you always say, oh yeah, he's gonna fight or he's gonna bring an exciting fight. Um, that's most of what I want out of boxing. Just I don't know, I've been doing it all my life, so this stage is very serious and I hope it's fun. And I'm pretty sure it will be. But yes, that's what I want out of boxing.
Well, I think it's an exciting era from Gervonta fighting Ryan to Terence fighting Errol. It really feels like the mentality of boxing is like the best fighting the best currently. And it
Yes.
feels like that stage is being set for your generation where that's going to be the standard you're held to. Guys
Yes.
can't kind of like pick and choose and businessman their way around a great career. It's really feeling like we're getting down to a couple of hall monitor and bullies. Is that the temperament you're bringing into the sport? Is just, I mean, it kind of sounds stupid to say it. Do you want to fight the best? Like, it's probably, you're
Mhm.
obviously going to say yes, but honestly, shoot with me straight. Is that the mentality of this young generation?
I would hope so. I mean, me as a fighter, I see both sides of the road. Like, I understand the business part, which Mayweather has introduced to the sport with just making smart choices, but also making those fights that people want to see so they can come out and see it and support the fighters and just amazing fights. Me, I would love to fight. I've always fought the best in the amateurs, so I'm always looking forward for a challenge. I feel like I fight the best when I'm fighting the best or great talent. So, yeah, so I feel like the mindset coming into this generation of boxing is most definitely going to be um, looking for a challenge for sure, because the fighters now are set in stone. Like Gervonta Davis and Ryan, you have Errol, Spence, and Crawford. You have Jermell, Charlo, and Canelo. You see fighters taking these chances in their career, but also up until that point, there was a business standpoint in order to get there. So they both coincide with each other, and I'm just ready to see. I'm ready to see it all unfold.
Definitely agree. Don't forget Sugar Ray Leonard there too. He kind of mastered the business before
Oh yeah,
Floyd, like
yeah,
he
yeah. Yeah.
dragged Hagler around 8 years or so before he'd fight him. He said, "Let's wait until it's on my
Yeah,
terms. We gotta wait. We don't want to fight you then." But I
yeah.
get what you're saying. There's an like I was actually just saying this about a fighter that you probably never heard of, Galia Fi. He won a gold medal, and they're rushing him because money's really tight. You fight a 10 round fight, you're fighting for a lot of money. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That can do a lot with your life. But I'm not a big fan of jumping guys in 3, 4 fights into 10 rounders. I like
Mhm.
guys to develop, and I think that's what you're speaking to.
Yeah.
And some of that business is you got to see a southpaw, you got to fight a power puncher, you got to develop, you got to grow, and then when you're ready, let the cage off and see where you fly.
Yes, because to add on to that, amateur boxing is completely different from pro boxing. Like it's a completely different system as far as scoring and even fighting in a way. So um most definitely that business standpoint, taking it from 4 rounds, then building to 6 rounds and 8 rounds and 10 rounds, just building that casually as you grow. And also being in the amateurs, you're a kid more so, and going into the pros, especially at an early age, you still have time to like grow into your manship when you're fighting people that's older and already hit that stage, or they're in their prime years, like 27, 30. So it's all a process. And yeah.
I'm gonna ask you kind of a direct question, and if it's wild, just say it's wild. But more than likely in a pro debut, this is gonna be in theory, nothing about it's the easiest fight of your life, but it kind of is in that you're gonna have a lot of physical and skill advantages over another opponent. That
Mhm.
being said, how do you deal with that coming from the amateurs and coming from what you've been sparring? Facing an opponent where you might look at him and be like, "Dang, what is he thinking facing me?"
Yeah. Honestly, the way I see it is I don't see it no different. I see it as that person is trying to win just like I'm trying to win. He's trying to um put on a show just like I'm trying to put on a show. So I don't really look at it differently. I just take the challenge as they come. I just take them as they come. And the difference is just like taking my time versus the amateurs. The way I throw shots, how I play certain shots. It's just completely different ball game, and it will really show levels going into this fight. What level I'm on facing the fighter that I'm facing. It's just like putting that to test. So I'm ready to put on the show.
Well, thank you for saying that because that's my big thing for saying what prospects is. Please separate. if you're
Mhm.
fighting someone that's not on your level, can you please show that guy is not on your level and make it very apparent? Like if you look like you're supposed to be fighting at the Radisson Ballroom in a
Mhm.
4-rounder that's not televised, that's not a good thing. Like please separate.
Yes, yes, yes. It's great to hear too. Yeah, and I totally agree. Even though as a fighter, I see where like casual boxing fans come from. Hey, get them on. It might not be easy for all fighters because everyone has different styles. But yes, I do agree that if it's a person that's not on your level, then that's as my coaches say. I'm pretty sure other coaches say they not on your level. Try to get them out of there. Get them out of there, and I'll try get them out of there. So yeah,
And as I say, if you're trying to make a career out of this and make money and not have to work a job, you can't
yes,
be going 4 rounds with John the janitor.
yeah,
You can't be going 6 rounds with Dave the dairy delivery guy. Like
yeah,
you got to really look like you're trying to make $100,000 in this sport. That's the
yeah.
way I feel.
Yeah, and it's also a way of marketing yourself. It's just like marketing. It's just like a business. It is a business. You have to market yourself. If you don't use, I use this as an example. I just came up with this in my head. If you don't use certain hashtags under your YouTube video or your TikTok video, it might not go viral. You're not using these certain tools that help catapult your career, then you're just wasting time. You need to put more effort in. So yes, I do agree with you.
So I want to speak to that actually with you. Um, I'm an old head. I'm a young old head. How
Mhm.
is it being a youngster, being a pro boxer, having all these different apps? It's all that you've known, but there's all these different apps, and you have to balance being a pro athlete, living the life of the sport, building a brand on social media. I imagine there's some component of the amount of followers you have on social media merits what kind of person you are. It's almost like a bank account, I'd imagine, in some capacity. How do you balance all these different hats while you're figuring out who you are?
It's mostly just like adjusting to how the world is. The world is changing every day. It's a crazy world we live in. So it's more so just adjusting and seeing what to get into and what not to get into, just making smart choices.
Okay, well that's good to know. I think I might need to take some advice from you. How's it like training with your coaches, Kenny and Calvin?
It's great training with Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny. They are a great dynamic. Um, I would say one of the greatest teams in boxing, and I'm not being biased at all. Like they coincide with each other so well, um, with both of their teaching styles. So it's great working with them. They push me. I learn every day with my peers that's in the gym also, and yeah, they're different. They're different trainers. They're just completely different. I'm grateful to have them as my trainer.
Well, my observation is what I like about them is they're very genuine people. It doesn't
Yes.
seem like either of your coaches go, okay, I'm doing an interview. Let me turn on the interview self. Okay, I'm training you. It's like the same person every single place. And I really respect someone where it's like, this is just me and I'm just entering into this conversation at this moment. And I think that sets a great standard for a fighter because a fighter has to be the most secure individual in the room at all times. If you're
Yeah.
slightly insecure, you're in a dangerous situation.
Yep. Yep. I totally agree. Yes. They are very genuine people. When I first joined the gym 5 years ago, going on six. I'm not originally from Baltimore. I'm from Washington D.C. So when I went up to the gym, I already had known Coach Calvin prior. But as soon as I got there, I was welcomed as family. And as the years went on, we built great relationship as a coach and fighter. And it's been great ever since. And I'm excited for the journey I'm about to enter.
How has it been seeing like the gym you're at turn into like one of the most iconic gyms of this generation?
Um, it's amazing and it's very different because when I first got there, it wasn't so like I wouldn't say now it's kind of getting a little sacred. Like you have to move a certain way, um, like getting in there. But like I don't know, it's just becoming amazing. And Tank is doing a great job. Coach Calvin is doing a great job, just putting on for Baltimore in the gym and giving back to the youth because that's Coach Calvin's main thing. Like he wants to give back to the youth, and it's amazing to see what they're both doing.
I think that's cool too, that like you don't see him taking other people's fighters. It's people that are coming to the gym that he's building up are the next group of
Yeah.
guys that Coach Kenny and Calvin have. It's not like, hey, let me get another famous fighter that someone else built up.
Yep.
Um, that I think that speaks to the fact of how much he cares about the community, is that he'd rather spend time with the young kids and change their life than try to recruit a famous fighter.
Yes. 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 Very, very genuine, down to earth people. Yeah, they're what you call um true people. They true to themselves and they do what's right for the community, for sure.
But now let's go a little deeper and not get you in trouble. You go there and the gym, it's like popping and it's famous. Tank's a big deal. But like 2 years later, he's on pay per view. Like 3 years later, he's possibly the face of boxing. Like, at what point did you go, oh, wow, like there's a lot of cameras in this gym for like major television broadcasts?
Yeah.
Like when did that moment hit you that like, oh, I'm around, I have the opportunity to like be around Kronk in the 80s?
Uh it hit like a year later after I joined. Um he was fighting his it was a hometown fight versus I forget the guy's name, but he was coming off his Pedraza fight. And after that fight, after that Pedraza fight, everything just started to go up for him, and I can see the gym just evolving. See some fighters being more focused, some falling off, but that comes with the sport. But um, yeah, so I don't know. It's great to see that transition up until this point now, because I would say like everything has changed. Even not everything has changed, but Coach Calvin, you can see a little change, and Tank, you can see a little change in him evolving as a person and from what he does in the sport. So yeah, it was just great to see. And to come up and see that, to go to certain fights, yeah, it's just amazing to see like the crowd he brings. That's was definitely um a true inspiration to where I want to be in the sport. And yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to take it a step further. You see Tank do it. He's become a millionaire, an icon. I think he's a Hall of Fame boxer already. Now you've seen that firsthand. What does that do now to you, knowing that you've seen it happen? It's not a dream anymore. You've seen it happen. You've seen it accomplished.
I feel like anything's possible in this life, and it's made me push more because I'm only um a few steps away. I'm right there. So as long as I keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a fighter, and even outside the ring, how I treat people, as long as I keep doing what I'm doing and follow behind their footsteps, I feel that I would be either in that same position or some way similar. Like I'm just ready and I'm excited for this new journey.
Perfect. What are we going to expect about this fight that you got coming up in August? Pro debut.
Um, you're gonna expect just a great performance. Um, so a little bit of explosiveness. You may see some boxing too, because I'm a boxer puncher. So if the time is right and the opportunity is there, I can for sure get my opponent out of there. If I need to box and put on the show, I can most definitely do that. So either way it goes, I'm just ready for any opportunity I see. I'm going right at. It's going to be amazing and explosive.
What's this last couple of weeks of your first camp as a pro like? Are you kind of like counting your last meals before the weight cut? Are you anticipating the days where you get to weigh in and get to wear this cool outfit that you got?
Yes, I have been anticipating it for a long time. Uh, Camp for me, I would say I've never really been off of camp. I've been in camp since January. I haven't been out the gym, stayed in the gym. My weight is actually great right now. So the meals is not it's not too bad compared to amateurs. I had to, maintain the weight a lot, but I'm doing pretty good with my weight right now. Yes, I have been anticipating it. I just can't wait to just oh man. It's like I'm itching. I'm itching to get in there and just get this fight on and get the show on.
That's a lot to get expect or there's a lot it's a lot of joy I hear in your voice because you only have one pro debut ever. And often like Badu Jack told me a story of his first amateur fight, which isn't a pro fight. He said he warmed up for 5 hours. So like he did like a jumped rope for 2 hours straight. He didn't know any better. And it's like I feel like every pro debut, even if you have the best pro debut ever, you're gonna look back on it 15 fights from it and go, man, what was I thinking?
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know. I was always told just be calm, be myself. So I would say I'm ready for the moment. I'm ready for the moment. I'm kind of anticipating all the nerves before, like 5 seconds before I walk out and all that. I'm already anticipating that and replaying the fight over and over and over again. The possibilities in my mind every day, 24/7. So I'm just ready.
It's a big visualization. You're an artist and you visualize kind of the scenarios in your head.
Yes, yes. I can't not think about it. I can't not think about the fight coming up. I study every day. I study boxing every day because I'm a true fan of the sport. So I'm watching boxing all the time. So if I see something new, I'm like, I could probably do that in the fight, or I could do this, or I'm looking at different. I'm researching different pro debuts just to see people's performances and how I can top that, or do something similar, or add what this person added theirs, and I don't know. I'm just excited. That comes with the anticipation and the anxiousness for my fight.
Well, also, what I also hear is like something that I hear in smart people. When you're young, you want to collect as much knowledge as possible. And then when you get older, you want to retain as much knowledge as possible. You want to
Yes.
use your life experience with it. But I'm hearing a lot of positive because you're young, but you're trying to gain as much experience as you can. And often that comes through research and studying.
Yes, yes, yes. I don't know. I just ever since my dad introduced me to the sport, as a young child at 3, 4, I was always doing boxing. I never did no other sport, so that was like my bread and butter. It's like I was always watching the fights every weekend, every Saturday. I'm still to this day, so I'm always eager to learn. It can be from a TikTok video. It can be from a YouTube video. It doesn't matter. If I see something that I can implement in my game, I'm feeling free to add that with no hassle, no problem. And yeah, I'm just a true student of the game. I feel like you don't love the sport if you're not a student of the game. You really don't respect the sport, I would say.
I agree. I feel like if you say you don't study the game, then the game's going to study you.
Yeah.
Someone out there is going to be watching what you're doing and you're just going to get passed by. Let's get you in trouble. Let's do a couple of hot takes to get you out. It's Crawford and Spence. What's your student of the game breakdown?
Both talented fighters, both great fighters, future Hall of Famers. One is very versatile, as in Crawford, very versatile fighter, can do it all. Spence, just a true brute. He could box also, but I just feel like his grit and his willness would just win the fight.
And maybe size too. You know, the
Yeah,
size, good counter puncher.
I
Uh,
mean, size too. I'm both of them. Well, I would say Crawford is the better counter puncher, but I feel like the size thing. People are saying, yeah, Spence is bigger, but I mean, I think,
Crawford's sneaky big. He's like 175, 180 out of camp. Like he's bigger than people
yeah,
think.
yeah. So people, yeah, that's why I think a lot of people are sleeping on his build also. So because he has power, I believe he has power also. So um,
He's
I don't know.
stupid strong. Like he's a guy that could go into a gym and deadlift 500 pounds. Like no
Yeah,
warm up. Like he's just freakishly strong.
yeah, he's a true athlete. Like I seen him doing everything, ping pong, basketball, everything. So
But
yeah,
I can attest to that. Like I've seen Terence Crawford do things that you would not expect, like deadlift, bench press, like stupid amounts of weight. Like you wouldn't expect him, but he's like this lean, mean physique. But Errol, when I met Errol, he was a lot bigger than I expected him to be. Like
yeah,
he's a lot bigger than I thought.
yeah. But in that fight, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have had Crawford. 5 years ago, Crawford was my favorite fighter. But yeah,
What
now
changed?
I don't know. It's just the competition. I think. I mean, Spence has been through a lot and he's persevered. And I've seen that. I'm like, I don't know. I can't really see Crawford beating him. So I don't know. I'm just, all in all, I just want to see a great fight between two greats, and uh, I think they would do it again. I could be wrong, but I mean, yeah,
I like the fight. I think that we could sit up here and create scenarios where either guy can win, and those are the fights that you want to see, right? Like it's like when Tank fought
yes,
Ryan. I know you're biased, but like realistically, a lot of people could create scenarios where either guy could win, and that's when the fans want to tune in. Is when you can convince yourself either guy can win. Let's go Charlo versus Canelo. I'm going Lukie hot take. I think Charlo has a very good chance in this fight. What do you think?
I'm right with you. I have Charlo all the way. I'm going for Charlo all the way. Um, I would say if you ask me my top five, Jermell Charlo is indeed in my top five right now. A lot of people don't give him the credit that he deserves. He's undisputed champion. He's lost, and he's had fights where they were very controversial, and he's came back and weathered it and came back with great performances, knockouts. So I think he's a sleeper, and I got Charlo over Canelo for sure.
My other reason for this, I think Canelo's slowing down. I think Jermell's going up, and I think Canelo's coming down, and it just comes down to how Jermell takes the punches of Canelo because all-time great fighters do land punches on you, and he is the
Yeah,
bigger man, you know.
yes. But I don't know. I and first of all, I respect him stepping up to the challenge, because you would think everyone was thinking his bigger brother would take that fight before him, but I mean he is undisputed and Canelo is undisputed in a different weight class, and making that jump just, I think, catapults his career and him as a fighter. So I'm
It just
excited to see.
shows the heart of his fighter, you know,
Yeah,
like that he's willing to step up because everyone knows Canelo is one of the best. It's like if you're anywhere near Tank, Canelo, Shakur, and you jump up to fight one of those guys, it's like, okay, that's a fighter. Better be of
yeah,
Usyk. Like those are some really tough
yes,
dudes, and people aren't really jumping out to fight them.
yes, and also I wanted to add, like, these people, they're paid. Like Jermell Charlo, he don't have to take this fight. He don't have to take this fight. He could go fight Tim Zoo. but he's jumping up to bigger things, and that deserves a lot of respect. And yeah, he deserves 100%. So I have Charlo for
Sadly,
that.
the algorithms on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram don't reward positivity. They like just like some real wild opinions that get people like mad, and then the actual famous person leaves a mad emoji. Like, sadly, I don't think we'll hear the rational opinions on that.
I'm a realist, so I don't really care what they say. I'm gonna keep it real how I see it all the time.
Okay, final one. Let's go Fulton Inoue.
I got four. I
Okay,
got
that's a hot take express. Why are you going?
yes. First of all, anyway, is a great fighter, highly skilled. Um, Fulton is also, but I'm leaning more towards Fulton because he's from Philly. He's more close to home, and he's the underdog. And he's the champion, which is crazy. And he's making that another big risk going over to Japan. That's a big risk. Everyone knows, like mostly when American fighters go out of overseas and fight, 9 times out of
That
10,
Jeff Horn, Manny Pacquiao scorecard.
yeah, yeah, Errol, and you saw what Errol did to Kell Brook. He had to get him out of there. So it's
Terence
either
Crawford to Ricky Burns. He had to beat the hell out of him, and I think the fight was still
yep,
close.
yeah. So I got Stephen Fulton. I believe in his skills. We haven't seen much of his power, but I would say not all fighters not gonna have power. So I believe boxing to his best ability and getting there and brawling, whatever he has to do, he could do it all. Really, I got Fulton all the way. I hope he pulls it out
Well, I think it's
anyway.
cool the fight got made because Inoue is another one of these guys where I feel like a lot of people aren't really trying to jump and fight Inoue.
Yep.
And Fulton took a huge risk being the best guy in the division, fighting Inoue and going to his home country. Sure, he's getting paid, but I think that he's not really getting a lot of credit for what he's doing. I will keep it real with you. I still think Inoue is going to win, but I think Fulton deserves a ton of credit for making this fight happen because I think if you had told people in January, most people wouldn't have believed this fight was being made.
Yeah. It's just amazing to see. Just all these great fights lined up right behind each other. This gives the boxing world hope that it could be back to what it was.
Okay, where's your social media?
Socials on Instagram, Damari Philson, DAMARIPHILSON. Twitter, BOXNDAMARI. YouTube, Damari, DAMARI. No slip, NOSLIHP. And yes,
You
those are
got some
my.
exclusives coming fight week, like a good montage of you training to like a good rapper or
Oh,
something and that type of stuff.
yes, I do have. I have some work on my Instagram page right now, and I do have something in the works coming soon, hopefully this week. So yeah, just stay posted with my page, my Instagram page, and yeah, show's about to get on the road.
Okay, well, not just subscribe, hit that bell icon too, and hit ours while you're at it. Damari, I
Yeah.
thank you for stopping by. I wish you the best, man.
Thank you. I thank you for having me. This was a great interview. I really appreciate you having me. I will tune in to your YouTube channel. I kind of searched you up before I got on here too. I wasn't
Sick.
sure if the
Yeah,
right
you were
one, but
like, I don't know. This guy might be making some controversial content, because
yeah. I looked on your page. I most definitely will be supporting and keeping up with you.
well, it's
Uh,
all good, bro. Because look, and I'm gonna shoot from the heart. It's about standing up here because I like your coach Calvin and Coach Kenny, and not because they're famous. I like them because they help young people, and I like helping young people. You're a young fighter. Who knows if you're going to be a world champion or not? But I'm not going to ever tell you you're not going to be anything other than what you want to be. That's positive. And if
yes.
me having a little podcast thing, and I used to have a bigger channel, but I had to start a new channel,
Mhm.
If that helps you with your dream, then I'll take 40 minutes out of my day, because that's what this is all about, is about giving back. The Lord blessed me to be in a certain situation, so I got to give back too. So I appreciate you supporting me, but I always support the young fighters coming up, because it's all about you're my legacy in a way, right? If we raise the next generation right, then everything's going to be better. So I
Yes.
I love interviewing you instead of the famous fighters, to put it like that.
Yes, yes. Thank you. I appreciate you for this opportunity, and thank you for having me.
Man, you don't
Uh,
have to do the
well,
scripted thing, but I know you mean it from the bottom of your heart.